Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel Curiosity Rocks, and I have another movie review. So yesterday I went to see it on Sunday, July the 7th, 2019, and here's my ticket to prove that I went. So I'm not going to go through the plot this time. This time, for this review, I'm going to list what I liked and what I didn't like. So let's start with the likes. Obviously, I like the music, because obviously everybody's grown up with Beatles music. So obviously I like the music. I liked when he was actually playing the big arenas and he got a proper sound system, because the music, it actually vibrated in the cinema floor and it gave a proper bass. So when I was sitting in the cinema, I actually could feel the music and the vibrations. So I enjoyed that. I liked the bit when they were recording the album in the recording studio next to the railway line, and I thought was he called Gavin? I forget now. But I thought he was an alright character at the start, and I liked when they were using the percussion instruments to put all the percussion and the extra sounds onto the recordings. I liked the end credits when they actually played actual Beatles music, played the actually Hey Jude with the actual Beatles. I liked when those two people, they found him, Sarah Lancashire and the Russian guy, and they found him, and they had to and they was the only two other people who remembered the Beatles, and then they had a little dance over Yellow Submarine. I thought that was really sweet. I wish that perhaps more of the story would have been about them three, bonding over only them three remembering the Beatles. I would have preferred that with Sarah Lancashire, the Russian guy, and him just putting the songs together between them and remembering the Beatles, and they could have done all the sound effects. I thought I would have preferred it if the cast was them three, really, because they made it really sweet and touching when they were dancing and jumping up and down, because they sang Yellow Submarine together. I thought that was more emotional and more, I connected with that more than the main romantic plot. When they said it took some finding and I gave him that note, I probably am a bit naive of some films. Like, what I expect isn't like everybody knows what's coming, and I'm like, oh, is it gone over there? And then it's not, because I thought he was going to find Paul McCartney, and Paul McCartney was actually going to be in the movie, but it wasn't. And they opened the door and it was John Lennon, obviously like CGI and a standing actor, but I was totally fooled. I was like, what is that? So I'm not going to get into any of the personal details of the Beatles or who wrote which songs and stuff, because to be honest, I just like listening to the music. I'm not one of the fans who dives deep into all the personal life about him. So I don't want anybody shouting at me for saying I like certain bits, but I thought the scene with John Lennon was quite good, and I liked that his boat was called Imagine. Anything else I like? Of course, the main actor, he did a really good job on the performances. Okay, is that all? Is that all the likes? Yeah, I think so. So the dislikes. I thought the main romantic plot was so dull. It was basically a plot because the girl who acted as his agent, since they were at school, she was so, I've forgotten the word I was going to use. I was going to use a word. It wasn't ditzy, it was a different word, but it's that, I wish I could remember the word I was going to use, but she's like, oh, how did we get in the friend zone? Oh, it's like, well, with me growing up, I've always like, I fancy you, do you want to come out with me? And if they said no, then they said no, but I asked. I went up and asked people. Said, oh, yeah, are you single? Do you want to go out with me? But then she's like, yeah, a drip. She's like, oh, I thought we were going to be boyfriend and girlfriend. I know I've gone Liverpudlian in my accent a bit, but it's like, oh, it was, and obviously, with most straight romances, I just find it so dull and just don't feel much at all, apart from a few, one or two, like Rose and 10 from Doctor Who, or Peter and Carla from Carrie. There's only a rare few straight couples that I like, but when it's two gay boys, I'm like, oh my god, what's wrong together? That's how I get with two gay boys. So if it had been a gay romance, I would have really enjoyed the film. But as it was just her being a complete drip. And then when the main character declares his love on stage, when he admits that who really wrote the songs, and she goes to the Gavin guy from the recording studio and says, you're the greatest man I know, and it's like, but you're dumping him to go, so why are you lying? It's like, why didn't you just say, I thought you was a nice boyfriend, but I really like him the best. Why would you say, oh, I like you the best? She's such a liar. So I didn't like that. His mate who was acting as his roadie, I like that actor, but I like him in Plebs. See, that's where I like him from. His character was just pretty thin, to be honest, in this. And there wasn't enough of the Beatles songs. It was just cool, just like a snatchet of song, and then loads of faff. And loads of romantic rubbish crap, and then a bit more of a song. His American manager, played by Kate McKinnon, oh, she was awful. She was so bad. Chewing the scenery, she chewed the whole setup. I thought that was just so cringe. This is just such a crap character, and she just overacted. This crap. And the bit with the James Corden show where it turns out he's imagining it, and he imagines that Paul, and I think it was it Ringo, and it showed the feet, and Paul's got bare feet, and then it lasted 2 minutes. That was it. I knew a lot of people don't like James Corden, but I thought he was going to be like, I would have been if he'd done a duet with him, because you know how James Corden has people. If he'd done carpool karaoke with the Beatles, I know he has done it in real life with Paul McCartney, but with the character, that would have been more interesting. Now, Ed Sheeran. Oh, I thought it was excruciating. And a lot of the time, I do like Ed Sheeran's music, it's lovely, but was it a film about the Beatles or about Ed Sheeran? Was it promoting Ed Sheeran or the Beatles? It's like, but I thought his acting as himself but not himself, oh, it was just cringe. I thought it was just so cringe. The main concept of the power cut, 12-second power cut all around the globe, which means he gets hit by a buzz, wakes up, and nobody remembers the Beatles or Coca-Cola or Harry Potter, or it's like, and then she said his manager. She sat on the bed and he said, well, what happened? And said, oh, well, power went out round the wheel for 12 seconds, just Y2K thing. It's like, what? And I know this was just a stupid, meant to be a fluffy romance, but you'd think they'd investigate. They wouldn't just wave it off. Oh, it's this Y2K thing, yeah. So I was expecting them to investigate what happened, because surely it's a worldwide event. It's surely, and him and the other two people, wouldn't they want to know what happened? But at the end of the movie, oh yeah, before that, his manager, who, and she says, well, he's going off to do, at this point he's still going off to do his rockets, and everybody believes he wrote them, and she says, but why don't you just go back to teaching? Just come back, just do teaching. And it's like, where's your ambition, love, for him? And you're supporting, so just do teaching, just so I can be with you. I hated that character, it's just so annoying. And then at the end, after he's had a chat with John Lennon and he tells everybody who really wrote the songs, and then just goes to him and his romantic interest, and they've got married and had kids. It's like, and the rest of the world, you'd think the rest of the world would want to, they'd be on Twitter. Surely they'd be on Twitter saying, let's find John Paul, George and Ringo, let's find them. Surely they'd want to find him if they wrote all these amazing songs. Surely, why wouldn't they want to find them? And why wouldn't they want to investigate what actually happened? Why? It's like Rich Curtis did his trope. Well, it's not really a trope, but his thing of, because he did Vincent and the Doctor in Doctor Who, and we had this celebrity, the moments, the celebrity moment, and we cry, and it's about their life, and we cry about them. And then, so he did that with the John Lennon figure in this film. He just seemed to want to do a romance, and he just chucked some Beatles songs on top of it. It wasn't a movie about the Beatles music. It was a romance, and thought, how can I sell this to the cinema? Oh yeah, chuck some Beatles on top. It's like, I just wish it could have been more an investigation into the actual Beatles and not just about the main character and his girlfriend. Like, I just wish it had been Sarah Lancashire, the other guy, and him, and they just went all around the Beatles where the Beatles started and stuff, instead of the romance plot. But so, also I went with family. The photo at the start of this review is me and my auntie, and I'm sorry I look really fat on it, but I thought I was posing really cool, and I'm like the Michelin Man. So, and it was, they decided they had to see it at 11:45 in the morning. And I was like, oh, that's so not the time I usually go to the pictures. So I felt very fidgety during the film, and I nearly did want to walk out and just go shopping instead, but I sat there, got a numb arse, and then the other bit I livened up for was actual Hey Jude over the end credits. So I would have just been happy if this just played like Beatles songs just in the cinema. I didn't even need a film. So yeah, that was my review of Yesterday. Love the music, hated the film. So I hope you have enjoyed this review, and thank you for watching. Yay!